we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcast. We'll be talking some great video game stuff and more on the latest PCC Multiverse that's coming up for you this weekend. I know the VGAs are done. I'm hoping that we'll still get the guys together, be able to talk what happened to the VGAs, all the announcements, all the award winners, and all that good stuff coming up here as well. Most likely on the Monday episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos as well. It is Astrobot JSJ that won the Game of the Year for PlayStation. So there you go. Plus also as well, of course, Inside Sports, Fantasy Football, Joe Soro and I, we covered the world of the NFL, which started this week, tonight, in a snooze fest between the 49ers and the Rams. I just had to go ahead and correct Cool Bro because he was patting himself on the back because the Rams, and I had to tell him that, well, as a Rams fan, he still has to deal with the Rams, who are mediocre at best, and then talk a little bit more smack up back at him. So unfortunately, Cool Bro, you lose again. It is, of course, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, where we do talk about what's going on in NFL Week 15, and also the very, very good Detroit Lions as well. Plus also, of course, our good friends, the Lakerholics crew. We had L. Rob on yesterday. A great conversation with L. Rob. Also as well, of course, Empire Jeff TV covers the Dodgers and Lakers. Lakers in 5. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo! Also as well. Of course, the John McCallion channel. Stone Hansen, he wants to have a late lunch tomorrow, so we'll be on at 2 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. So go ahead and join us in for Lunch with Stone Hansen right here in the Lakers Fast Break. Alfred Esmond, hopefully get him on next week. Legend will hopefully come back as well. Go ahead and check out their channels, but also check out our channel by liking and subscribing today. Like and subscribe to get the latest notifications. We're still not yet at 2,000. We're just at 1,950, right around there. Please help us out by getting us over the hump on 2,000 subscribers by subscribing today. Follow us on Facebook, and also as well, go ahead. Twitch. We always like followers on Twitch as well. And of course, everything that we do right there on Facebook and of course, YouTube as well. And don't forget, become a member today. Emojis, badges. I drop stuff from 5 Things with Jamie Sweet there. Also put in articles occasionally myself. I drop sometimes sneak peek videos from the Pop Culture Cosmos there well in advance. So go ahead and check it out today for just $2.99 a month indeed. All right. Lakers are going to start back up again. You think the days off would be quiet in Lakers land, where they had 4 days off to go ahead and relax, get things together, work on some things in practice, get things going. Nope. Always got to be drama in Lakers land because the LeBron James saga of where he wants to be traded, will he be traded, the fact he has to approve to be traded, that scenario went down earlier this week. And then also after that, it was announced he was stepping away from the team for personal reasons. Now it's listed he has an injury as far as that foot injury, but he's probably still away for the personal reasons, so he will not be playing tomorrow. What does this all mean? Does this mean possibly that he's contemplating things for the future? That he's contemplating an end for the Lakers? We'll go ahead and talk about that. Plus, Bronny James in a loss tonight for the G Leaguers. Joe is going to hate when I say this. He scored 30 points tonight, and people all over the internet are blowing up. Yeah, I know. So we're going to hear Joe's thoughts. Does this?
Why would I hate that?
Well, because you're already making the motions and the blah, 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 blah.
Why am I going to hate that? Why the fuck would I cheer against him?
Well, you just seemed like irritated the fact that people are.
I don't want to talk about it. Was his dad there?
I did not know. I did not see if his dad was there. I did try to look, but
I don't want him to fail.
Okay.
Let's make that clear.
Well, does this mean? Well, I'll ask you a question on Bronny James and his 30-point. But I could just tell the irritation. It just, you tense up. You start getting a little
Because it's
whenever.
irrelevant to Laker basketball. What happens in some stupid ass road game, G League game, means nothing to anything productive for the Lakers. Nothing.
Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and touch on a little bit more of that as well. But yes, it is LeBron James still taking up the spotlight, even when he takes some time off. Joe is listed officially as a foot injury. You and I both know that there's probably something much more to this. People have speculated it's everything from the Diddy case to him possibly thinking about him wanting to be traded. But of course, he has to give his permission on that. It doesn't seem to be the actual injury that is listed out there. So it seems to be the cause many people are thinking is why he's currently away from the Lakers, possibly contemplating retirement as well. Your thoughts on the LeBron saga? Man, we just can't even have just a quiet 4 days off in Lakers land.
I wonder if we'll find out more information on the next game or maybe even tomorrow. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. He's not going to get traded. No one's going to give anything for him, and there's nothing to get back. Anyways, I hope this is the beginning of the realization that his career should be winding down. I would like to have him. He can kind of kill two birds with one stone here. I would like for him to announce his retirement here soon, this year, and he can finally kind of have a little bit of a rest with what's going on. He won't have as much pressure on him the rest of the year, and he'll get his flowers and all the attention that he loves. Kobe Bryant had a similar announcement late into December that he was going to retire. I think Kobe realized at that point too that he might have not realized at the beginning of the year, or maybe didn't want to really, wasn't 100%. I'm totally speculating, of course, but he got into December and he likely said, "No, I think this is it. I think it's time for me to check out." And I think LeBron is right there. I think it's time for him to check out, regardless of it dropping these points and assists. Stats don't mean much in this era as much as it did maybe 20 years ago in terms of the effectiveness of winning. Triple doubles now, you've got the all-time triple-double leader of all time in Russell Westbrook, and he's the most unwinning player of his generation. It just doesn't mean anything anymore. Numbers don't mean anything. Jokic is probably going to win an MVP here again, and he's been throwing triple doubles left and right, yet Denver is struggling. It's just a different game, and statistics mean less now than ever before in basketball. So I would implore LeBron to retire. That would be my first bit of advice. If he did that, I'd have a lot of respect for him, because I believe it would be hard to do, but he would be doing the right thing, not only for himself, but also for the Lakers, because the Lakers can't get on to improving this disaster that they're in until LeBron is gone. And that's kind of what I'm hoping ends up happening here. That's the hope. I don't see any issues with him and with that open mouth breathing piece of shit that's in jail right now. People just say that just because they want to be witty and funny. I guess that's the world we live in. But I don't see any reason why LeBron would be associated, unless I'm dead wrong. Again, I hope I'm not being naive there, but I don't see LeBron being involved in any of that kind of garbage. He would have shown signs of that way before.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. I just think it's time. I think it's time.
Seven Grant says LeBron isn't going to retire to please people like Joe.
No, not at all. He won't do it to please me, but maybe please himself, and allowing himself to go out with some dignity. Yeah, allow himself to go out with some dignity, because it's what else is left? What, you're going to come back next year and then continue this facade? I think LeBron's off the court stuff has burned out enough. I think it's burned out people enough. We've only had him. Well, actually, he's been in LA longer than he's been in Miami. Miami never really
Hmm.
felt that the burnout, right? Cleveland, I
Remember,
think.
this was what was said. This is when he was with Miami. That started the downhill. Remember that the comment that was made that he's been going downhill for 12 years, and yeah, that started that process. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it
according to that individual
it,
viewer.
it's an exhausting. I think I feel as a fan, I feel the same way maybe Dan Gilbert felt the second time he left. I think it's just that the words that he used were, "It's finally our team again. It's my team again." It's just he's the most exhausting player I've ever seen in sports.
I agree with you there. It's getting tiring, Joe, because this 4 days off should have been quiet, Joe. We should have just been speculating what does the team need, et cetera, et cetera. Just the basic conversational pieces that we often do here at the Lakers Fast Break. But no. What did it evolve around for all 4 days, Joe?
Mr. LBJ.
Yep, there you go. 100%.
There's a video of him getting yelled at by fans and he retorting back.
Okay.
The difference is, and of course, a lot of the discussion is get us a real one. You know, he was talking to the fans about how he had gotten the Lakers a title, and a Laker fan said, "Get us a real one." Now, I don't believe that. The 2020 title is as real as a heart attack. I don't give a shit what anybody says, and anybody who says against it is stupid. I'm straight up. That was a real title. If you don't want to accept it, then you're stupid. However, LeBron has never really been embraced in LA. This isn't just a Lakers fast break uh, hating issue. Half of you think I hate LeBron or I don't like LeBron. Fine, I can sit here
And
and
the
tell
other
you.
half think you love LeBron.
The other half, I don't think anybody thinks I love LeBron. Most of the people think I don't like LeBron, uh, and not liking LeBron is really not the point. The point is I don't relate to him in any way. I don't feel anything for him, which is really the first time I think I've ever had a player that's been great like him on my favorite team, and I didn't embrace him. I think the closest one was Jeff Kent when he became a Dodger. That was it. I could stand Jeff Kent. Couldn't stand it. Giants fans and we were like merged together. Actually, I was merged with them a little bit before then because I was a fan of Will Clark even back when I was growing up, and I seemed like I was the only Dodger fan that liked Barry Bonds. But LeBron James was never embraced in LA, and it's because of these things. They were drawn up murals and all that stuff, and they were getting spray painted over. Like, no, 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 no. You don't put a mural of LeBron James in LA like this. And even still, wins a title, makes the Lakers somewhat relevant, obviously, instead of what we were dealing with before. But the problem is his irritation. I'm not gonna say bad, because I don't know if that's the right word. His irritation on everything in a lot of ways sometimes outweighs the positive. It's exhausting to constantly have to deal with a grown ass man who lives a life like a reality show. It's just tiring. Shaq was obnoxious and full of shit a lot of times, but Shaq did things that just made you want to grab him and like get, like you get so he would dunk over everybody and he would focus. He would be able to turn that thing on and focus and just absolutely annihilate everybody. And that's that's the identifier with him. And of course, he had Kobe with him, which made it easier. And you had guys like Rick Fox and D. Fish and Robert Ory. All of them were mean mothers, just identified with that. And It made it easy to do that. And then you fast forward to kind of a nicer group in Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, Trevor Ariza, and those guys. But they were so surgical in what they did during their run. You love them for that too. This team, it's had success. It's won a championship. I really like Anthony Davis, but LeBron has just never been able to, other than 2020. And even then, it was like all the social stuff going on and him yapping, and then finding out that his boy Haslam had to tell him to shut up when they had that secret meeting. They had to call in Michael Jordan to tell everybody, look, everybody needs to stop talking and start listening, and things like that. That just more and more solidified what an immature, just kind of reality show headache he is. I just want to get out of this. I want to like my team again. I really do. I don't like this team. And a lot of it is because of LeBron James. And it's his fault. I'm not exaggerating this. You can sit there and talk about all the other shit that has no relevance to it. I don't give a shit about the best player of all time talk. I don't care about 40,000 points. I don't care about that. Doesn't mean anything right now. What am I going to do? Go put a poster that says, hey, LeBron got 41,000 points? I don't give a shit about that. I don't care about his triple doubles. I care about the Lakers winning. And right now, he is a detriment to the Lakers winning. Him, his team, and everything around them. So he's got to go. He's got to go, take advantage of this, get some respect from Laker Nation. This is not just me. No one gives a shit about what I think. Just have some respect. Have some respect that we've had to deal with you for the last, 7 seasons now. Retire. Dude, your 22nd season. Retire, dude. Just retire. A hell of a season. One of the greatest run. For sure, the greatest run in NBA history. And that's it. That's it. I can't make this personal, guys. This is not personal. It's not. Just because I don't agree with certain things that people do doesn't mean I'm sitting around just destroying people. I'm not doing that. I'm minding my business and I'm getting these messages. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I'm trying to watch a Laker game. I'm trying to enjoy watching a Laker game. I'm trying to be positive about being a Laker, watching a Laker game. And it's always drawn back to something like this, no matter what. Why? Why is it my fault that I react in a way where I'm like, why does this keep happening? And all of a sudden it's like, well, you shouldn't react like that. No, I should react like that because my team is in a position to mentally and physically win. This is about wins. It's about competing. That needs to be something that a lot of you need to understand where it comes from.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is a snack pack, everyone. It's Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for watching this. Truly appreciate you joining us. Got a nice crowd tonight on the fly. We just barely gave you enough notice to let you know we're here, but we're here. This is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break, talking about the drama. It is supposedly a foot injury that's keeping him out for tomorrow, and that also kept him out for the other game. But again, when it comes to LeBron James, Joe, it's not about the injury. This is not something that we've seen where, if it was a big game, it would keep him out. There's something more here. There's something that we're not being told. There's something that we're not yet putting all the pieces together to, so that, in the world of Lakers land, in the world of ESPN, in the world of the NBA, we're all in speculation mode. So we put on our tinfoil hats, put on whatever type of guesses and prognostications that we can try to make on figuring out what's going to go on. But I can just tell you right now, it's not just a foot injury, Joe. All this stuff that you're hearing on the side, all the excess stuff, even on what should have been a quiet 4 days off, tells you there is something more.
Short of him doing something outside basketball that was bad, what else could it be inside? What, he's got to go get a mental day? He's got to go to a safe place with this pussy ass era of human beings that can't rough through it. And if you can't rough through it, why are you playing? Why?
I'm just letting Felix know on Facebook. What's up, Felix? Great to have you here. Uh, I feel like the entire organization is being held up by LeBron.
And it's their fault because they had a chance. We said this. We said this exactly like this. LeBron, thank you for being here. We're gonna go a different way. They didn't have the balls, the sack, or the whatever to do that. And this is now, if he decides to play out the year and then pick up his contract, because for some stupid reason, this idiot GM keeps giving these guys player options in their last year, especially the ones that don't have no business even having a contract, let alone a player option in the last year. You gave this guy a player option with a no trade clause. He's not going to Golden State, guys. Golden State's not stupid. That's not going to do anything. And LeBron going to Golden State playing with Steph Curry ain't going to do shit for him either. What, he's going to, what, they win a championship this year with Steph and LeBron? He'll get it worse than Durant did. That's not going to happen. I don't know where that rumor came from and why. I believe maybe there was someone asking it last year. I believe that. But right now, come on, let's get real here. No one wins in that deal. No one. Because Golden State ain't going to give us 3 or 4 first-round picks for that. Hell no. What? Maybe one first-round draft pick in Kuminga and Pods? Okay. All right, I guess I take it. But how fast is AD is going to ask for a trade at that point? Which might be a good thing. But now you're like, okay, well, let's get it going then. But I don't have any confidence in Pelinka doing anything in terms of building this team or Genie.
I agree with you on that. Zero confidence that they can definitively build a better roster when both AD and LeBron finally part. But even though that's what we want them to ultimately do at this point, at least for my sakes, I think it's just best that we start to look at dismantling this team as far as the top 2 players are concerned. I know it was said earlier in the chat, Seven, I believe, said something to the effect that, oh, how do you think we could build a team, or do you think we could build a really good team around Connect, D'Lo, Austin Reeves, and Rui? And I said, only if Austin Reeves, D'Lo, and Rui are your 6th, 7th, and 8th guys coming off the bench. Those guys on a good team are bench players. But unfortunately, the Lakers have no depth or talent, so they're your starters. And in doing so, it makes your bench weaker, but it also just leaves you limited on your future options, Joe.
We're going to have to wait to see what happens with LeBron. I don't know what's going on.
And see that again. We're all being held up. We're all being held up again by LeBron James.
No, if I had full autonomy on this team, on what the roster would be, everyone would be gone except maybe Reeves and Connect.
I would get rid of.
I don't even want Rui. Bench or not, I just don't. I don't think this team needs. So Austin Reeves does a couple things that I really like on a winning team. Number one, he can handle the ball and he can create contact in the paint. He can shoot. He's a streaky shooter, but he can shoot. That's a good positive thing. Dalton Connect is very athletic. He's a rookie, and he's going to be a sniper if he continues to work the way he's working. Rui, too much hot and cold. I don't want to deal with that. D'Lo, I want him gone. Gabe, throw him out the window. And then who else? Hell, I might even keep. I wouldn't mind keeping. As funny as it sounds, a healthy Jackson Hayes. I wouldn't mind coming off the bench. If we have a really good front line, that would be the only 3. Because here's the thing with Jackson Hayes. He's an athletic freak, right? Like that's probably why he's where he is in his career. And those kind of guys are actually pretty good on competing teams. That kind of skill set, you don't want ever. That's why Shannon Brown was such a fan favorite. Yes, he wasn't next level type player, but when he did get in, it was an entertaining player. He did certain things that just kind of helped blend the chemistry, and a lot of it was geared towards the fact that he was very athletic. I like when it comes to very athletic athletes on teams, even though they're not as talented as you wish they would be, they still serve a purpose. They still can get you things in spurts during an 82 game season.
Again, I think we're bereft of talent when you look beyond AD and LeBron. Yeah, I would like to see them try to see how it works out with Dalton. Could he become that gunner that most teams crave and most teams would like to have, including ours, for the future? We'll see how it works out with him. But truly appreciate everyone being here. Abraham, give you a shout out. Greetings, Fast Break family. Oh, there you go. Sending out the flowers to all of us. Truly appreciate the Terminator Joe. I like the Mr. Glassford Terminator Joe. Search Xbox. Oh, send the flowers to us indeed. It is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Again, it's Joe Soro and Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. I don't know. It just seems like, Joe, that this drama, there always has to be drama surrounding it. I don't know if it's self-created as far as it's intentional, but it just seems like it's unnecessary, Joe. We don't need to be put through this. This should have been just a quiet 4 days off where we can speculate on what the team needs to do and focus on before they get back out on the road tomorrow against Minnesota. But dear God, no, we can't even do that.
No one knows anything, and everything's quiet. And at what point are you going to stop supporting this team? That might help. The NBA, I was watching the ratings for the Cup. Actually, it wasn't even the ratings, it was the ticket sales. Ticket sales last year were, I think, around 150. They've dropped down to in increments of, I think, 39, 49, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what is Mr. Silver going to do next? Is he going to blame the NFL on Sunday for the NBA not working now? Is he going to blame Santa Claus? Because now Roger Goodell's putting the screws on him. I got to watch Kansas City play the Steelers on Christmas. Now I can't even enjoy my own family that day. I have to watch football. I guess I don't have to. But
I'm going to the Monday game. Just was told I was going to the Monday game with the Ravens and Falcons. Oh, joy!
What is Mr. Silver going to do now?
Well, part of that reason, Joe, you got to admit, part of the reason, not entirely, but part of the reason why the reduction in prices is because the Lakers are not there. You know that the Lakers have a huge following in Vegas, and then people coming from Southern California to Vegas.
That's so why you made this tournament for the Lakers?
No, of course not. But the prices, anybody who thought that the prices were going to stay the same this year to last year is needs a serious checkup.
Get rid of the stupid NBA Cup. It means dick.
Oh, I agree with you on that one.
It means dick. It means nothing. So that's it. That's all I got on that. It means nothing. You have an 82 game season so you can play for an NBA championship. There doesn't need to be some kind of fake ass cup that you win that you're forced to put a banner up in that arena. That was probably the day the old Lakers died, was last year when they had to put a fucking IST banner when this team only puts NBA championships up there. That's a joke.
This is a joke. It is a joke. I don't like it either. I think it's just a self-made promotional thing where, like I said, the initial buzz of it did spike some ratings last year, but I don't think we'll find the same charm, especially because of the fact that the teams that are involved. What Giannis, I think, is probably the biggest star of them all, as far as the most promotable star that you have. I think out of the teams that are going to be in Vegas, so I don't see it being a success the second time around. But there's still some diehards out there that truly like it, truly appreciate it. But again,
Diehards. It's only been around 2 years.
as far as NBA junkies, things of that nature that I've heard on radio, heard on podcasts that actually like it. I don't. I hate the Technicolor courts. I don't like the concept of this winning by a certain amount of points, point differential, and all this garbage and whatnot, running up the score. Oh, okay, just to make sure it looks good and all that. But it's these are regular season games. They need to be taken as regular season games. If you really want to make things better, shorten the season. Shorten the season, and to make it more intense, the intensity. But I know UA won't do that because, of course, they want all the money.
No, I don't want to shorten the season either. You compromise all the records if you shorten the season. It's 82 games. Your asses are making 20, 30, 40, 50, $60 million a year. Go play the fucking game. I don't want to hear about cutting down the season anymore. What we don't need is we don't need an in-season tournament where two teams have to play an extra game, and we don't also need this 15th team to make the playoffs, and then you have some kind of stupid-ass play-in. That's what we don't need. I just find it comical that players are complaining about too many games because they're bitches like that, yet Silver's idea is to go add a couple more, or maybe even 3, depending on how things play out in the play-in. You made it worse.
And I'm not saying I really want a shorter season as well. I just don't like the NBA Cup.
And maybe this thing would have been different had we not had the in-season tournament, because maybe some of those, there was a couple of years ago that they made it. They were a 9th seed, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't have made the playoffs that year. Maybe things changed a little bit quicker. Who knows? I don't know. I'm tired. I'm tired of mediocrity. I don't handle losing very well, folks. I don't. And I can't stand drama from grown-ass men. I don't like drama. Like Beverly Hills, skanks of whatever. I don't like that stuff with dudes. I have very little respect for you when you're like that. Dudes are not supposed to act like that. Men are not supposed to act like this. You act like this, you are a dickless bitch. That's what I think of you. You might not care what I think about you, but that's what you are. And you're not gonna have an argument out of it. It's not. Grown men are not supposed to act like that. Grown men are supposed to be strong and protective and deal with shit. It has nothing to do with old school, new school, boomer, Gen X. That's all horse shit. It's called fundamentals. It's called fundamentals.
So with that, it is, of course, the Lakers heading in tomorrow, minus LeBron James, into Minnesota. I was thinking, Joe, that, you know what? I thought we would obviously give Minnesota a much better game than the last time they were in Minnesota, because you thought, okay, LeBron's had almost a week of rest. AD has had 4 days off of rest. The team in and of itself, 4 days off of rest. Austin Reeves is now listed as questionable, I think was what he's questionable or probable. I have to go ahead and check it and clarify that. But he looks like he had a good time, good practice. So he probably will be playing in tomorrow's game. So I thought everything was looking towards a better performance for the Lakers tomorrow than what we saw last time around. But obviously that's, again, not going to be the case without LeBron.
Probably not, but they were probably going to lose against Minnesota even with LeBron, anyways. I'm right now. I'm 4 for 4 in my predictions. When we did make the prediction, I had picked 3 losses against Minnesota.
No, you picked 2 and 5. Yeah, you picked 2 and 5 overall for that 7-game stretch. And you're pretty much on it so far.
Yeah. I believe they'll lose tomorrow. They're going to get their ass whipped by Memphis at home, and then they're going to lose both games against Sacramento. And then they'll beat Detroit on Monday before the Golden State
I think they'll at least split in Sacramento. I think you're putting too much hopes on Sacramento, a team that has underperformed so far, has a worse record than the Lakers right now.
Hmm. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll
I
see.
don't know necessarily if it'll matter, even if they split there. What are you looking at there? If they lose tomorrow, Memphis, so now you're sitting at 13-13, and then you're sitting at 14-14. If they split, and then you're 15-14. 15-14 after 29, and then they probably lose to Golden State in Golden State. So right by Christmas, they'll be the
500.
mediocre team. They'll be 500. First 30 games, they'll be 15-15. I think they'll be 14-16, but 15-15 is still pretty much the same.
Well, you were looking for an optimist. $7,000 is an optimist because he thinks they're going to win the next 5 games.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Kurt Affair. I love Kurt Affair.
I know deep down you don't believe that, so I'm not even going to comment on it, really.
Kurt Affair's back in the chat. Truly great to have him back. He says, maybe not, maybe blank or something. I still think we're going to split in Sacramento. I just think that Sacramento has had a really disappointing season, even more so than the Lakers, and I think that it will be reflective next week. If the Lakers win both of those, I think the seat gets very warm for Mike Brown. I think it gets very warm.
Why do they stop hiring Mike Brown? Isn't this his 15th coaching stint? Jesus Christ.
That is funny.
You got probably De'Aaron Fox being the only, would you call him a star? Or just a really good player?
Right now, he's a really good player, I think.
It's the first one that I've seen that hasn't committed to an extension. He will be a free agent at the end of the year. He won't pick up his option and become a free agent. I wouldn't mind having De'Aaron Fox if LeBron retires. I wouldn't mind starting with that. I'll be honest, man. I'd take that in a heartbeat just to kind of get things going a little bit. I think his enthusiasm would be through the roof, too. It's whenever I talk about the Siberia teams of the NBA, I always forget to put in the Sacramento Kings just because of what they did in early 2000s. But Sacramento has become they've become kind of the area where no one really wants to go and no one really cares about either.
Ralph D is asking, Ralph, it was just a pleasure to have you on. I didn't get a chance because you left. Did you a chance to thank you for being by on the college football special with Coach Joe Soro, where we covered the college football playoffs and had our predictions there. So it was great to have you there. But Ralph D is asking something a little bit off the beat. Another one of the main rumors you've heard, beside LeBron James and all the drama and hubbub in the past few days on this 4 days off for the Lakers, the last thing you heard as well was about Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler now supposedly has some destinations in mind. I think Dallas is in there, Houston, the Phoenix Suns. The Lakers can't afford him. We already tried to work out that math. It just doesn't work. You'd have to throw like 4 or 5 players in there. And it still, you can't get the math right because, again, both of these teams are in the first tax apron. So the money has to be less taking in to what they give out. But I don't know how it's going to work with the Suns, Joe, because the Suns can only send out 1 player because they're in the second tax apron. So I don't know how that works out. Maybe Beal. I don't know. But Jimmy Butler to the Houston Rockets sounds interesting. Of the teams that's been talked about, I think that's the one that could probably do it the most.
The issue is Phoenix doesn't have any draft capital. And are you really going to put 4? Essentially, be 4 guys.
Well, Phoenix can't do 4 guys. They can't. They can only do 1 because remember they're in that second tax apron. They can only ship out 1 person.
It's not going to happen, Ralph. It's too complicated.
It would have to be Beal, I think. It's probably the close to it.
I think the best place for Jimmy to go is Dallas.
Seven Grant says, Joe, you are always talking drama. LOL.
Well, it is a show. We are entertaining.
And it's why you have a channel on YouTube.
Well, if you listened to the college football bracket yesterday, you would have gotten a lot of information and a lot of non-drama.
There was no drama there. We were just talking football.
Don't kill the messenger. We're the messengers here. Believe me, if I was doing a podcast in the late 2000s, early 2000s, you would have seen zero drama and a lot of shit talking. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Absolutely. Ralph D says, while Dallas would be wild, actually entertaining. Yes. Again, this CBA is going to be very restrictive to the number of trades that are going to take place.
I can't believe they agreed to this. I'm absolute just joke. And these things never reverse.
I think they'll tweak it during the summer.
I don't know how they'll tweak it. I don't know how they tweak. I don't know. What I'm hoping is that I know the baseball PA is the strongest union in sports, but Jesus, what's going on in the NBA or what's about to happen in the NBA, man, that's only going to add to the fact that there's never going to be a salary cap in baseball. Thank God for that.
Felix is in your house on that. He said the Lakers need to watch how the Dodgers build a team. It would be great to start off with building the team with a new owner in the Guggenheims. I think Joe has been at the forefront. Him and, of course, EJ have been at the forefront on that.
Yeah, Felix, we're campaigning. Me and Empire Jeff have been talking about it a little bit. I am pressing it more and more. Hopefully, if we can get a bigger forum as we continue to progress. The Guggenheims own 27% of the Lakers right now. I believe they bought that 27% from AEG in 2021, I believe. And they have the right of first refusal. So they've already got a deal saying if she does sell, they have the right to make the first offer. The Lakers would have a renaissance if the Guggenheims took over. It would be an exciting time in LA. It would be a very, very, very exciting time in LA. It would probably mirror what Dr. Buss did in the early 80s. How he transformed that whole culture of the NBA. Doesn't get enough credit for revolutionizing the pro basketball culture, putting in dancers instead of just dead air, putting in music, putting in a college atmosphere, putting in a spectacle, putting in a movie star area, movie star musicians, a place to be type atmosphere. The Guggenheims, if you haven't paid attention, is the second the World Series ended, they were already doing renovations to make Dodger Stadium better. They didn't have to do that. They could have just taken that 100, 200 mil, 300 mil, whatever it is that they profited, put it in their pocket and say, cool, we made money. No, they put it right back into the business. That's something that I've always stressed to anybody who gets into business. Always reinvest in your business because that money does nothing for you in the bank. But a lot of these owners, like the owner in Pittsburgh, the owner in Miami, all these schleppers who are just constantly cutting salary, they're the ones that never invest in their business. They just want to collect. Well, I'm just happy I'm a Dodger fan. And I'm happy that the ownership cares about winning and cares about the fans. Usually that's kind of a stupid cliche that's not real. Oh, we care about the fans. The Guggenheims, Kasten, Gomi, and Friedman generally care about the fans. They really do. They did not have to do what they're doing here. Now, the only thing I want to find out here, since we had a lot of drama with fans catching balls, I'm curious if they're going to lift that wall in the back up finally. And then on the sides, lift that up as well so there isn't an issue with fan interference.
That's a good point.
But other than that, man, you gotta be with your teams during the good, especially during the bad. So we're here. We're here for the
We're
bad.
here for you. Indeed. Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Sorrell along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this. Truly appreciate you joining us. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll have the playback up for you guys and running. Playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. We'll start off your day tomorrow at 2 p.m. with a late lunch with Stone Hansen. Stone says he wants to meet for lunch. Maybe Joe, I think, will be out and about. I don't think he'll be available tomorrow.
There might be a chance I could get in mobile, but we'll see.
We'll see, indeed.
I will be traveling, though. I will be traveling.
Darren, I did not see LeBron at the game, watching the game. I don't know if he was there. If anybody has photos, I looked for it online on Twitter and social media. I did not see any. So I don't know for Bronny's first road game, which...
No one's moving to Canada, by the way, folks.
By the way...
No one's moving to Canada. I'll tell you why. You want a 70% tax on all your shit? Move to Canada. None of these assholes are moving to Canada, no matter who's president, no matter who's accused of anything. They'll move somewhere else, but they ain't going to Canada. Canada's the worst place to move to when it comes to rich people.
And getting back to Bronny, I don't know about if LeBron was there. Yes, we have to talk about it. I know, because it just irritates you, but no, that's not the only reason why. Because I know in our chat, Joe, they are talking about it constantly.
All right, guys. So when you talk about me having drama, me creating drama, what am I? Look, here you go. I'm not saying anything. That you just bring it to me. So just know it's not me.
Because you and I are not. We're still not convinced. He had 30 in a G League game. Great. This is what you want him to do. You want him to learn, get time out there to see if he can actually legitimately become an NBA player. He's not there yet after one game. Please calm down. The whole sports world seems to be on end with this and flip out when this guy does anything worthwhile. He caught a couple lobs, had some good shots underneath, was still 3 for 9 from 3, which at 33% is probably the best percentage he's ever had in any game or close to it. But at 30 points, great job. But it's still the G League. We've seen all these players go from a G League 25-point game, 30-point game, what have you, and then they're no more than scrubs at the back end of the roster. So, Joe, can you definitively tell everybody that you are not impressed with what you've seen so far? But the fact that he is getting minutes where he needs to get minutes is at least a step in the right direction. A small one, but it's still a good step in the right direction.
Good for him.
Okay. Kurt affair. Seven Grand says I play better when my fam wasn't at my basketball games. So yeah, I don't think LeBron was there tonight, unless there's some photos that I've not been able to see. But yes, Seven Grand says you hate LeBron, so you want him in prison. I guess he was talking to somebody else, but because we certainly don't want anybody in prison who hasn't deserved to be there. Who
He's not
doesn't
going anywhere. It's not like I'm a Laker fan. I'm a Laker fan, folks. I think you should be able to, you're smart enough to understand where I stand on this, because I've told you. You guys are a lot of people out there get fixated on bullshit. It's mind-boggling. What is? I don't give a shit about LeBron's personal life. I don't give a shit about who he votes for, whether he wipes his ass or he has a bidet. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't want to know him. I don't want to have dinner with him. I don't want to be around him. I want him to help my team win. And if that's LeBron hating, that's you. But logic and facts say I give a shit about the Lakers. I don't care about King James and who's the greatest. Who gives a shit right now who the greatest is? Means nothing. Means dick.
To Callie and Darren, yeah, I don't like Gabe in that rotation right now either. But Quincy was very nervous and did not do well at all in his first game. So, but it was his first game. I'm hoping the Lakers will give him more chances with some minutes in actual meaningful play. But the rotation still it is what it is, Joe. When we head back to Minnesota tomorrow, anything to shake up the starting lineup outside of LeBron that you think is in order, or anything outside
Well,
the rotation that you'd like to go ahead and see implemented
well,
when they
I
come
don't
back?
know. I'm not going to know how this starting lineup's going to set up until I know that Austin Reeves might be available.
He's
So,
questionable right now.
yeah, questionable is better than doubtful, which he's been doubtful for the last week.
Yeah.
I don't know. If he plays, then you're probably looking at D'Angelo starting with Reeves in the backcourt. Connect Rui and then AD. I guess.
They've got to put up over 43s. They have to put up over 43s if that's the case.
I don't know. Whatever.
Darren
Hitting
says
13 out of the 40.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. You're a roller coaster when it comes to your LeBron opinions. Well, I woke up today, folks, with a 4-day break, enjoying my day, reading Dodger stuff, reading NFL stuff, and then Mr. LeBron James is having a conniption fit. What the fuck you want me to do? What do you want me to say? Okay, did I call him? Did I call him to create this? Did I say, hey, do this? Off and on. I'm minding my business at home today. I worked a little bit and I came home. What the fuck do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? Well, seriously, what do you want me to say? You want me to massage it? Oh, he's having his. Oh, he feels bad, guys. Oh my God, he's so stressed. You want me to feel stressed about a guy that's worth a bill, who puts all the bullshit on himself?
Seven Grand says, don't bring up LeBron and Diddy scenarios. We don't even know if that's most likely just not.
7 grand. You're really starting to get down to one now with your talk.
But I know Abraham was.
What do you mean? Don't bring up LeBron and Diddy. What are you? The internet police?
Well, no, he was trying to say don't bring up LeBron and Diddy, but Abraham was trying to allude to the
fact. I get what he said. You're not stopping a million people who don't give a shit. You're wasting your breath at that point. That's like saying, hey, don't call me names. Yeah, that's probably going to go the other way. Yeah, I need a mental break. So do I. I need a mental break from LeBron James for about forever.
Guys, just there's no reason to fight amongst yourselves whether or not you think he's going to be named as part of the Diddy thing or not. I think it's just if he's that.
You all want that to be it, right?
Yeah.
People want that to happen because you have a bunch of jealous, yapper, keyboard commandos that just want to talk shit. Those guys have balls like this. They have no nutsack. They're fucking coward pieces of shit. Who gives a shit what people like that think? Who cares? Seriously. And a lot of them are bots anyways. A lot of them are these warehouses full of people just talking shit online, making money doing that shit. Ignore it.
Callie, Braun hasn't been consistent night in and night out. That's been part of the problem. You know, he's 39 years old. He's going to turn 40 at the end of this month. There's no way.
That's funny. That's funny, sports baby. Upset Rich Paul. Rich Paul doesn't give a shit about what I say.
He's not been as consistent as what he's still having again, I had this argument with people already online already this week. He's still at 39 statistically is having the best season ever for a 39-year-old. But still, it is no, as Darren would attest to, as he's just put in there, he's a hater. The defense has been absolutely abysmal. The getting back on defense, transition defense, has absolutely been abysmal. And this is not just this year; it's been, over the course of time. He argues with the refs or just doesn't tussle back. This is all something we've seen many many times over the years. He takes a lot of shots in isolation that are ill-advised. We get the whole LeBron thing, but still, the statistics bear out he's having the best season ever for a 39-year-old, despite all the games that he's had in like just barely getting over the 10-point line. At times, it's not been pleasant to watch, Joe, but we just don't have a person that with the capability of dropping a 39-point triple double that's just like right waiting in the wings. That's the problem. While AD is getting you 38 at the same time. And the fact that they play absolutely abysmal defense on top of it. They tried that, Kurt. They tried to play him less minutes. He told essentially Darvin Ham to F off. So you just can't win. You just absolutely can't win. It's just this constant aura of drama that always has to go ahead and just continue on. You just can't focus. It started, the season with the whole Bronny thing, and then just now has evolved into this with the whole, will he, won't he, all that stuff. It just is irritating to
It's
no means for everyone.
always something.
It's always something.
Always. It's what I would imagine being married to someone who doesn't shut up. It's just one of those things. Imagine someone every day yapping all the time in your ear, all day, every day. I would imagine that's what it's like.
Darren, I know you're a hater, but I see things with LeBron objectively. I try to as best as possible. Okay, whether you want to say his triple doubles are fake, fine. Go ahead, do what you want to do, say what you want to say on that. But come on,
I think what y'all need to understand is that it's more focused on his personality. Stop talking about his game. We already know how good his game is when it's on, when it's off. Do we really need to go? I mean, if I could show this stuff without getting copywritten for every goddamn thing we get on here, I would show you exactly what we're talking about. There's TikToks now that are popping up on my feed about how there was a 3-on-5 break the other day because he and then someone else, I don't remember who it was, didn't even come back to play defense. And so this is supposed to be the greatest player of all time. This is supposed to be the guy that is smarter than Jesus when it comes to basketball. Guys, there's gonna be people in your life that know what's going on and are smart. And then there's also gonna be those guys that are that way and then they'll speak up. Because sometimes smart people who do know won't speak up because they don't want to muddy the waters. That's not how you fix a problem, folks. Standing back and just letting people talk out of their ass. They're not going to learn anything that way. They're not going to ever learn that they're wrong. LeBron is not by a mile and more miles, is nowhere near the high IQ that you all been duped into thinking he is. He's not. He's not that smart. And you want to know when I knew he wasn't that smart? He was even before he was a Laker. I'm making the right play by giving it to the open man. I'm giving it to the open man. The right play is making the shot in the last seconds of a game, not giving it to the open man. Sure, once in a while you'll get the ball to Steve Kerr. Once in a while you'll get it to Robert Horry. But if you don't have Steve Kerr and Robert Horry, what the fuck are you going to do then? Also, LeBron James has the second greatest single weapon in NBA history, and that is him going to the basket. Number one is Kareem's hook shot. And in a lot of ways, LeBron should be one because a layup is always going to be better than a hook shot from 10 feet. Now, Shaq, you're probably going, wait a minute, what about a Shaq dunk? I can't. Shaq still needed to be given the ball. LeBron has the ball. Kareem needs to be given the ball. LeBron has the ball. He is definitely, with Magic Johnson, the freakiest players that have ever played in the NBA. Guys that are 6'9", 6'8", that can dribble, not have the ball stolen from smaller players, and still do what they do. Yet this guy would say things like, well, I'm giving it to I'm making the right basketball play. No, the right basketball play is making the shot. Now, fast forward to now. As soon as the skill set starts to diminish, as soon as the pressure of not winning or the pressure of being criticized comes into play, what does LeBron do? He gets a cramp in the finals. He scores 8 points against J.J. Barea in the finals. He needs a mental day. This last week, it's always something with this guy. So now what? Is that hating? Or are you going to start comparing to something else? I don't remember Shaq taking a mental day. He sure did go on company time, that's for sure. And he got a lot of shit for that. But he always showed up. And he dominated. Kobe, what was a mental day? I never heard a mental day from Kobe. Michael Jordan, his pops died and he retired. Came back, won 3 more championships, retired again because he knew he wasn't going to be a part of a rebuild. So now what? What else are you going to do? Because we got to compare. We always got to compare. That's how we are here, right?
Mm-hmm. Always.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Darren. All this 39-40 climaxing over. 85 Finals MVP was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
At 38, yes.
At 38. And that was in an era where you had lesser teams, which means that the teams were more stacked, and the fact that you had a Celtic team that had Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, and Larry Bird. All trees and all nasty and mean and clotheslining people and punching people in the face, and Larry Bird being just the nastiest, talking about IQ. That guy has a argument for being the smartest basketball player that's ever played basketball. That's the genius right there. Imagine if Larry Bird had LeBron's athleticism. He would have been the greatest player in all sports of all time. Anyways, I'm not going to go back into that. We have to wait till tomorrow to see what's going on. Probably. Maybe we might not find out tomorrow, but the next day we're going to find out if he's going to play in the Memphis game. Now what? What's going to happen? He's going to come back to play Memphis at home? Did you not want to travel to Minnesota? Is that what it was?
Could
I bet
be.
you that's what it is. I bet you that's what it was. A little bit. If it's not,
If he comes back on Sunday, you may be right.
If he comes back on Sunday, that motherfucker wanted to not go to Minnesota and play. What else would it? What else could you use it? What mental thing did he need to go through? Did a family member die for the personal thing? Wouldn't that have come out? Because LeBron always likes sympathy, right? He would have said that. He's big on that. He loves that attention where people feel bad for him, right? So we would have heard that. So if he doesn't play, he's not playing tomorrow, and he comes back and plays against Memphis at home, that's even worse. What, an extra day is going to fix your mental capacity?
Kurt Ferris says, I wouldn't want to go to Minnesota either. Oh, my God. Kurt. Good to have you back, Kurt.
Some leader, huh? It all sets the precedent. Those guys in the locker room, though, Those guys in the locker room know who LeBron is. They're grown men. They know.
Sorry to interrupt, Joe. Hey, chat, stop going after each other, okay? We can all have differing opinions on LeBron, but we should respect it. Please, guys, it's not worth getting upset about. It's just not worth it. This is what it gets. This is the kind of conversation that it holds just on the drama that all this stuff creates. Whether you like LeBron, whether you don't like LeBron, whether you think he's going to go be part of the Diddy impending lawsuit or lawsuits, whatever you think on this, as far as his days off and meaning, whether you actually think he's just actually injured or just wants to take another day off, I don't know. Again, it's just not worth arguing about. I mean, uh, for me, at this point, like I've said before, Joe, at this point, I just don't want to go ahead and argue about it anymore. I just call it like I see it, and there you go. I'm not going to argue. If you're a hater, you're a hater. If you're a LeBron fan, you're a LeBron fan. I respect both sides of the story because he is that divisive an individual, Joe. But please, guys, it's not worth arguing about. It's the holiday season. Should get in better spirit. I know the Lakers are still a mediocre team right now, and you want so much better. And I understand that. I get that. But it's not worth going at each other in the chat, Joe. It's not. It truly is.
What are you guys arguing about?
The difference on LeBron started with the Diddy thing.
All you got, the guys who are arguing for LeBron, you need to get off that horse. Seriously. And those who are against LeBron, enough of the stupid stuff. Focus on the leadership of the basketball team. Stop thinking about what happened at fucking Diddy's house. Those guys are all, you want to talk about gutter trash. That son of a gun has always been that guy. I have yelled it for years. Oh, Joe, come on. You don't even know him. I'm like, I knew that guy when I was 21, when I didn't even have half of my wits. Open mouth breathing guys, never trust those guys. Never. Just always that. Hey, close the studio. I'm gonna close the studio. Talk about a guy that loved himself. Jesus, that's why LeBron hung out with him, because those guys are one and the same in terms of what they think about themselves. Now, whether he was doing what that guy was doing, probably not. More than likely not. But guys, LeBron has no room. He hasn't had room for a while.
I've tried to simmer things down, but Force Ghost is like that. Yeah. I want to see him argue.
No,
Yeah.
Fight.
Fight.
You cannot win this argument, folks. LeBron is a disaster right now. He should have retired, or Jeannie and Rob should have had enough sack to tell him we're going a different direction. The second he said, I want you to draft my son, they should have said, we got to go. We got to do something else.
It's funny because Force Ghost reminds me of that guy. Let's say you get in a fight, right? You get in a fight, people are going to find it starting to break up. Cooler heads are just starting to prevail. And Force Ghost will be that guy whispering in that someone's ear, one of the guys that's fighting's ear. Did you hear what he just called your mom? Oh, it's all back on, Joe. It's back on. So, yeah. Yes.
I will defend the team. I will defend Dr. Buss's team, Jerry West's team, Magic Johnson's team, Kobe's team.
Sometimes you guys are it's the world's best Lakers chat, no doubt about it, but it's for altogether different reasons tonight. It's just hilarious. Guys, man. People one side, the other side, and then there's the people trying to antagonize and get it going, and then the other people that are just trying to watch. So no wonder we got a decent crowd tonight watching, Joe. Yeah, it's hilarious. But I want to just go ahead and say thank you again for truly appreciate you being here. Sports Baby, thank you for being a member 3 months in a row. You could be a member today for just $2.99 a month. Right there. We don't try to overcharge you or overdo anything like that. I'm going to put a poll tomorrow on LeBron. It's going to be probably a very divisive poll. So I'm going to put that for members only. first, and then I may play it. I may replay the poll on tomorrow's post game, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out. But Joe, looking forward to tomorrow's game, even without LeBron. Minnesota, we thought they were on a roll, but they got the legs cut out from under them, so they're right smack dab in where the Lakers are at. They're in that little tweener section where uh, Denver, the Lakers, Golden State, you could put in there now. Phoenix, all these teams that have had real highs and lows this season are all mixed in there, and the Lakers are right there as well.
So tomorrow, if Minnesota wins, Lakers drop to 9. And then let's see, Phoenix plays Utah in Utah. If Phoenix wins, that'll put the Lakers at hold on, let me look here. That'll put the Lakers down to 10th. So if the Lakers lose tomorrow and Phoenix wins, they will go from 8 to 10. And they'll be one game behind Sacramento. So with that, looking at the schedule, they're going to play Memphis. If they lose that, and then eventually losing to, let's say if they lose 1 or 2 in Sacramento, there's a big chance that the Lakers will be out of the top 10 probably within the next 5 days.
So you're saying they could be on the way to being sub 500 by the end of this month?
I would be in shock if they're not under 500 by the end of the year.
What does your group, your very quieting group at LakersBall.com saying? Because, they were so quick to just throw it in your face. Get ready to eat those olives, Joe. Get ready to eat those olives. Oh, I hear you talking on the show, Joe. Oh, you're talking all this. Okay, we got you now, Joe. We're 10-4. We're on the way. Oh, Joe, man, you are so wrong. How does it sound about now?
So they're my friends.
Okay.
They weren't too harsh at the beginning anyways, but they were coming at me with some stuff the first 3 games.
Uh-huh.
And of course, when we were 10-4.
Uh-huh.
But I had this one of my good friends on there, he and I went at it at the beginning of when I joined that forum when Mozgov got signed. Actually, it wasn't even when Mozgov got signed. It's when I found out at 12:01 that they were talking to Mozgov. And I remember that I was at the beginning of the chat. It used to be this particular crew used to be part of an old forum called Club Lakers. And then they became Lakers Ball. So I wrote, I'm paraphrasing and I'm trying to remember what I said, but it said something like, what the F, really? Mozgov at 12:01? Like I was on that one really bad. I'm like, what are you talking about? Why would you call Mozgov? The guy averaged 1 point and 1 rebound after during that playoff run for Cleveland. And then of course they ended up signing him. And one of my guys, LT, he was trying to look at the bright side. Hey, he's a big, he's this. I'm like, dude, this guy sucks ass. What are you talking about, big? He doesn't know how to play basketball in the NBA. And of course, it ended up being right. And then when the Lakers started out hot at the beginning of the year, he goes, it looks like I'm going to be right on this one when you were right on the other one. I'm like, maybe. We'll see. Is it hating when you're right? I want you guys to ask yourself that question. Is it hating when you're right? I'm not hating. I have no reason to lie about that regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, if a person's right, are they hating? You tell me. Tell me the logical answer there. It's hard to argue with someone who knows their shit. What are you going to argue with me about? The only time I'm going to be passionate about a discussion is if I know what's going on. If I don't know what's going on, I shut up. That's how it works. Being entitled to your opinion is true. You are entitled to your opinion.
Absolutely, Darren.
But what you can't do is you can't go and throw an opinion of what someone is thinking or what they are. You can, I guess, but you have to come with some details. Give me a reason why I should be happy with the current setup. What is it benefiting at this point? Are you telling me that I'm supposed to enjoy triple doubles from a 39-year-old? Are you telling me I'm supposed to enjoy the maybe one out of every 5-6 games where the Lakers played well as a team? Have they really played well this year as a team? Maybe 3 or 4 times. Maybe 3 or 4 times.
But even then, a lot of that is based off the schedule and then injuries, timing.
The injuries their opponents were. So let's look at that for a second. So the one stretch that I was very, very clear on previous shows, when they won 6 in a row, they played Philly to start that run, and both Maxey and Embiid were out. Toronto, Scotty Barnes was out. Memphis, both Bane and Morant were out. San Antonio, Wembanyama wasn't playing in that game, right?
Yeah.
Right? And then you had New Orleans, who stink, and then
Utah. No, Wembanyama was playing because that's where he got the bone. He got the bone bruise with AD on that one.
Right. You're right. Okay, I'm sorry. But at San Antonio, are they? They're what? The 13th place, and then New Orleans, you had both Ingram and Zion out, right?
Yeah.
And you barely won that too. Then Utah. So now what? Am I making excuses? Am I hating?
No, you're just saying the truth. Sometimes truth is the harshest thing to say.
Truth is why we can't advance sometimes in society, whether it's sports, whether it's politics, whether it's your home life. It's very destructive when you don't accept the truth. If you don't accept the truth, you can't solve the problems that you have. Just like when they talk about an alcoholic. The second an alcoholic admits that he has a problem, what happens? That's the first step that they say. It's the first step to recovery, when you can admit that there's something wrong. When they don't admit that there's something wrong, they continue to do what they're doing. The Lakers right now, and maybe LeBron is starting to understand that maybe he is got a problem. We're going to find out here in a few days, I think. The Lakers have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
They are never going to win a championship or compete for one as long as this team is the way it is. So what is the point of LeBron James staying on this team? If you're telling me ticket sales, if you're telling me summer league sales, whatever, you're gonna continue to get the heat at that point because that's garbage.
Darren says, should we take Draymond, AD, and Draymond together? Now we got something. You do realize he was benched recently. He's starting again situationally, but he did get benched because of poor play and how it fit overall to the team when they were on a losing streak. But Draymond is not the same player he once was. Why would you, if LeBron were to go to a trade to Golden State, which has been the most rumored team, why would you want back Draymond Green? That would be that would be a mistake, in my opinion. That would be taking someone that is divisive to bring in someone that is just as divisive and can't do the things that LeBron can do on the court offensively. Now, defensively, it is a much better, surrounding. But yeah, Draymond Green. Again, there's so much attached to Draymond Green when you get a player like that. You know how you feel about Draymond Green.
You almost are equal, if not worse, if you bring that guy in on the team. You don't want that. The only way this gets solved is if LeBron announces that this is his last year. That's the road to admitting something's wrong and starting the path of recovery. That'll also give AD some time to reflect on what he wants to do. Does he want to stay for a rebuild or does he want to get traded in the summer? Lakers win either way on that one in a lot of ways. They could get some stuff for AD. There's going to be a team out there waiting for that, by the way. They might be getting calls at that point.
But you talked about...
But is this guy capable, this Rob Pelinka and Genie, are they capable of building a team? They're not. That's why they have Clutch doing all their work. They're not capable of doing it. So I don't really know if this is even going to solve anything. There's got to be so much disdain on a day-to-day basis that Rob and Genie... See, Rob can just quit. What's Genie going to do? Rob can just quit. If he goes to public restaurants or somewhere and he's being harassed by Laker fans, quit. At some point, he's going to break and he'll quit if she doesn't fire him. But what is Genie going to do? Does she have enough wherewithal to understand that that's what's coming if you continue to run this thing?
So you talked about before how, you know, people were like really at you when the Lakers got off to that fast start. You know, there were people in the chat and Laker Tom and others sending me messages on the hot start by AD from 3. Oh, you should rethink your thinking, Gerald, on having AD shoot threes. We love AD shooting threes. Huh, do you? Just biding my time here. But he is no longer at 43%, Joe. It has been plummeting pretty fast. And again, not to say I told you guys so, but I told you guys so. AD shooting threes is bad for your offense. It's not what he's good at. That's not what he should be doing. He needs to go and be in a position where he's getting the majority of the touches underneath or close to the basket, where he is very proficient at and where it's best for the Lakers team. It's that simple. The numbers are bearing out. No, Kurt, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I've told you so before, but yeah, yeah.
Here's the story of my adult life in a lot of ways. What ends up happening is those who come back at me with wrath usually come back around and say, man, I didn't know. Because there's not enough energy to keep up. I don't sit around and make stuff up. I don't sit around trying to be right. There's anything on this planet, positive or negative, that can be said about me that's going to change my idea of who I am. It doesn't matter. I appreciate compliments. I appreciate those who support us. Love you all. Those who don't support us and have things negatively to say about us in a non-stupid way, like saying things that assuming that I said something that I didn't. That's fine too. Whatever. It's not gonna. It doesn't matter. I'm not doing this to make myself feel better or to get some kind of attention because I lack talent. A lot of these guys will just make stupid shit up like that. Gas bag, Skip Bayless made a career doing that shit. I don't do that. I'm not doing this to gas y'all up. No. If the Lakers were winning, you'd be hearing a lot more positive stuff, and I'd actually be bringing in the arrogance there. Because then when my teams are winning, it's arrogance that gets thrown on me. Oh, Joe, you're just a cocky mother. You know what? You're arrogant. You're da-da-da-da. So either way, you're going to get that negativity from somebody. But the Lakers have shown us nothing. They've shown us nothing except for one season the last decade and change. Even Laker fans are not paying attention to it. I was just reading something earlier. You guys are upset that this team had just won a championship 4 years earlier, and they were in the conference finals a couple of years ago. I go, oh, you're celebrating. Oh, now you're celebrating Western Conference Finals appearances now? You just proved my point. When the hell have we ever celebrated Western Conference Finals appearances? And that's not even the point. Point is, what are the things going on right now? When Dr. Buss wasn't fielding a championship team, what did Kobe do? Why is it okay for Kobe to go nuts and say he'd rather play in Pluto than fans who are spending their hard-earned money and time on putting a better product on the court? What happened? What? It's the Lakers, baby. This isn't the Sacramento Kings.
Which is funny because again, LeBald in the chat is talking about him hurting the NBA. You know, and I've heard many comments like that, and there is a part of that is true. But there's also part that he creates and generates interest. He generates and creates clicks. You guys, for every one person that says he hurts the NBA, there's another that spends money on LeBron. There's another that spends time watching ESPN on another story of LeBron. So in essence, he's doing both of these things, Joe. He hurts and he helps at the same time.
I would be excited. I would be more excited right now talking about some young guys trying to come up versus this crap.
Which what JY is asking, not knowing that you already shared your thoughts on Bronny, but for JY's sake, your thoughts on Bronny's 30-point game in the
I don't
G
care
League.
about I don't care about the G League. I don't care about Bronny. Bronny will never be an NBA player, a viable one, ever.
He had more definitive things to say earlier in the broadcast, JY, just to let you know about that. Yeah, again, it's what you do in the NBA. We've seen so many players score 25, 30 points in Summer League, 25, 30 points in the G League. Can they translate it to the NBA level? And more times than not, it is proven not to be the case. But again, when it comes to Bronny James, we asked why he wasn't playing road games. I thought that was the most asinine thing that this organization could do in regards to his development. If you could even see if he becomes an NBA player, why would you take away the opportunity to give him minutes to develop by not playing him on road games? I thought that was just an absolutely dumb decision by the organization. They finally relented on that. He played in the road game, and now maybe because he's getting more minutes, maybe we can see if he is something. I still don't think he's an NBA player as of yet, but again, one game does not change our opinions. It's going to take a series of games and then seeing it translate in the NBA before our minds get changed. And JY, yes, his name and LeBron's name, they do drive numbers up when we devote shows to it. Joe knows it, and I know it, and we don't like admit it, especially when it comes to Bronny. We would rather not be talking Bronny, but we understand that the numbers are there and the interest is there. I mean, there are publications like Sports Illustrated USA Today that even when he gets a 0 in an NBA game, there's still articles on, and people will read on how many points. There are articles that really say how many points did Bronny James score today, and they literally have articles like that after every single game he plays, and it's irritating to me.
Celebrating worse than mediocrity.
Mhm.
and then you wonder why people are so agitated, celebrating shit. Nope, never. Nope. I know this game. I know basketball. I know sports. It's my thing. I'm not going to be right on everything, but I'm damn well going to be right about a lot of things. I know the history. I know a lot of things. I know the culture. You're not gonna get the passion behind the decision and have it be wrong more than right. It's gonna be right more than wrong.
But yes, the Bronny lovers will be out in force tonight, saying, "See, we told you all. We told you all. We told you all."
I'm not even gonna listen to that. The G League is not the fucking NBA, so it doesn't even matter. It's a fucking joke. Seriously, I don't give a shit about any of this. I'm not watching it. I don't care. I do not care about a non-NBA talent, no matter who his name is.
Is it still associated with Gatorade? Anyone out there about the G League? Why it's still called the G League? I know at one time I thought they were affiliated with the Gatorade in calling it G League. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, if somebody has that answer in the chat, I'm really not going to go look far to go ahead and find out the answer on that one. So I really don't care, to be honest with you. Abraham says, I'm sure Kai will sell shirts more than LeBron James and Bronny combined. I don't know, Abraham. There was a report out there that came out last week. We talked about it. Bronny has sold over 500,000 jerseys in his initial season. That's just to give you an idea. That's generated well more than his less than $2 million salary on the season. So it's not the Gerald League Xbox. Thank God. I wouldn't name myself after that league. That's for sure. Bruno Diaz says Quincy Olivari is so much better than Bronny. Again, Bruno, we'd love to see him out there get a more chance than, of course, what we see from Gabe Vincent. I think Quincy might be with the team. Maybe that's why he wasn't playing tonight. I don't think he was playing tonight. I didn't see him. I don't think I saw him on the starting lineup. I may be wrong on that, but if that's the case, could we see Quincy in Minnesota? Maybe get some more time. He has to not be nervous. He has to be more like the player we saw in exhibition season. So hopefully we will be able to see more of that. And then also the player that has also generated a lot of enthusiasm with his G League play as well. So, but Joe, a very informative and interesting chat we had today. For a recap, LeBron James is out for tomorrow. The surface reason is related to a foot injury. But beyond that, if you want to speculate as to why, go right ahead. We'll see it in the quotes and we'll see it in the comments, anyways. The guy known as Austin Reeves, he has been out with a pelvic contusion. He has now been upgraded to questionable for tomorrow's game. So we will see if we are going to be able to see them. But we'll have it up for you guys. Playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And then also, of course, the post game for you coming up right there for you on the Lakers Fast Break as well. But Joe, it's been a very interesting conversation. Coach Joe Soro, please check out his thoughts on the college football playoff on our show that we did last night. But any last thoughts, my friend, before we head on out? Good conversation today. A lot of people still on.
We have some newbies here. Welcome, even the ones that have been saying some weird things.
Please subscribe at least if you're going to say a word.
I think they have. We just hit the 195 mark or 1950 mark.
1950. Thank you.
Maybe we get lucky. Maybe we'll be able to get to 2,000 before the end of the year. But again, thanks for coming. We welcome minus racist comments, minus really attacking people for no reason. We welcome all the good and bad comments. Just don't put words in our mouth and we'll be fine. We'll be able to converse with you all
On this video game night celebration, any update on Corrupt?
Yeah, we're. I would say we're waiting on a figure. I found out
Okay.
today. We're waiting on a figure. It can still be released even if the figure isn't there. But we want to see if we can get some marketing behind the initial release.
Coreupt, Corrupt on Steam.
Yes, I'll keep you updated, guys. Don't worry. It's going to be coming soon. It's coming soon. Wasn't our fault. We were about to launch, then the vultures start coming, which we knew it was going to happen. By the way, I knew it was going to happen because no one takes you seriously until they start. Wait a minute, what? You actually have a game? It's finished. It's coming,
No,
though. It's coming.
I don't know Jesse well enough to be a character. Will Joe be a character in Corrupt? That's
No,
the big
no,
thing.
not at all. My ascension in this will eventually be in some form of maybe a voiceover for a character, and definitely films. I'll be involved in the film side of things.
Okay.
I am looking forward to having enough capital from this to start doing films. And it will be, I have a couple of projects that I can collaborate with some of my film friends that have created great scripts. They're tailored around suspense horror type stuff because those are very economical. You don't need major stars on it. Although I did like how The Purge and all those recent horror movies that have come out the last decade. I like how they'll insert an Ethan Hawke in there just to give it enough of a boost in marketing. And then of course the story does its thing. I have a couple of really cool stories on that front, and hopefully some original stuff too. Original stuff. That's when you'll know this thing has really hit. That's
He'll
gonna
be a
be fun.
character that starts the game, and the other guy will say "Let's fight," and Joe Soro will say "F Bronny." There you go.
Okay, first of all, you guys are obsessed with that guy. I'm not. You keep
I didn't put
bringing
it in
up.
the chat,
You
Joe.
keep
I put
bringing
it-
up this shit. LeBron keeps doing what he's doing, and you're blaming me because I'm reacting to it. Think about that for a second. Seriously, think about that for a second. If you all think I'm sitting around thinking about LeBron James during the week, then you guys are out of your goal. And you think I'm thinking about anyone else beyond? I don't think about these guys. I don't think about anybody except my own people. That's it. Come on, grow up.
They're just teasing you, Joe. They're just teasing you. They tease me all day long. They tease you all day long. They tease LeBron all day long. It never ends here at the Lakers Fast Break. But
Yeah.
we love you guys. We love you guys. But it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break will be on tomorrow early at 2 p.m. with Pacific time with lunch with Stone Hansen. We're going to have a afternoon lunch with Stone Hansen, and then that'll guide you in later on to the actual game right there. Coming up right about 5, I think it is, 5 or 5:30 for tomorrow's game. Looking at the time for tomorrow. I will go ahead and do that now. It is, survey says, for tomorrow for the Lakers at Minnesota. If my ESPN will change here. Yes, at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Pacific time. I'll have the playback up and running for you guys. And then after about 7:30-ish, I may have to have John start it. I will probably be there at 8 because I'll be on the road at that point in time between 7 and 8. But as soon as we are able to, we're going to go ahead and have the post game. In fact, I'll ask John Costa to go ahead and head it up. Xbox, you might have to jump on with them if you can. I'd be greatly indebted to you once again to jump on to maybe take some of the flack for John if you can. by tomorrow night being on, of course. I know you're going to be on playback, so looking forward to that. But yes, Joe, definitely looking forward to tomorrow to see what happens and see if the drama will continue with LeBron James.
Yes. We should maybe find out what really happened here the next day or so. We'll know when they play Memphis, I think.
We'll keep an eye on it. If Shams Charania tweets it out there, I'll retweet it at Lakers Fast Break. Right there. All right. So for Joe Soro, it's Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for watching and listening. I have truly appreciated this conversation. Kind of needed it today because I didn't get a chance to talk very much about the Video Game Awards. So I'm hoping to do that here in the near future. So for Joe Soro, it's Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for all you do out there for us. Please like and subscribe on the way out. It really helps us. Looking forward to hopefully Lakers pulling off not a Christmas miracle, not a holiday miracle, but just a good game tomorrow against the Minnesota Timberwolves without LeBron. We'll talk about it, hopefully, in a good way, right here on the Lakers Fast Break podcast.